Very well. Regional Commander, we will take you after your testimony, then we call the District Commander. Yes. We are very grateful. Yes, we thank you for coming to assist us. Is the District Commander here? Yes, please, can you take him to the witness room? Yes. It will help you out of, so that you don't get confused with what your boss will say. Welcome once again.
Thank you, my Lord.
Madam Counsel, over to you.
I, David Agyeman, Adjem,
do swear
with the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
in this case
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
nothing but the truth,
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
God.
Commander, can you please give your full name again to the committee?
My Lord, my name is David Agyeman, Adjem, Deputy Commissioner of Police and Deputy Regional Commander, Ashanti Region.
Please, can you help us with the spelling of the Adjem? So that we'll get it accurate spelling in our records.
My Lord, my Agyeman is spelled with a G. Agyeman, and Adjem is Adjem.
Please, can you tell the committee how long you've been in this position of the Deputy Regional Commander in Ashanti?
My Lord, I've been in this position for a little less than 2 years. In August, I'll be 2 years in my position.
Please, can you tell the committee whether you are a member of the Regional Security Council or not?
My Lord, in the absence of my boss, I represent him at the Regional Security Council.
Now, with Ejura being in Ashanti region and being under your control, I believe you are aware of the incidents of violence or disturbances that occurred on the 28th, 29th of June 2021. Did you have any role to play in protection of lives and property and fighting crime in this area on that day? And if you did, can you tell the committee whatever you have, information you have on that incident?
Thank you, my Lord. My Lord, my boss, who is the Regional Police Commander, Commissioner of Police, Mr. Duku, during the period was indisposed, and so I was responsible for all the policing activities in the region during the period. And so I would give the committee a chronology of events, a chronology of activities the police undertook before, during, and after the incident on the 29th of June, if I am permitted, my Lord. Thank you, my Lord. My Lord, on the 26th of June 2021, about 4:04:05 hours, the police in Ejura received a complaint from one Haruna Muhammad that his brother Ibrahim Muhammad, also known as Kaka, aged 45 years, had been attacked at about 0200 hours and had been admitted at the Ejura hospital, and as such needed police action. Subsequently, police accompanied the complainant to the crime scene at Dagomba Line, house number plot 267, block 4. And at the scene, he pointed to 2 pieces of firewood. One of them was stained with blood, and he reported that these were allegedly used to attack his brother, who was on admission at the hospital.
Commander, please, can I come in here? Can we be specific? Which police did the complainant report the incident to? Is it
my Lord, I said Ejura police.
Okay. And it was Ejura police that accompanied him to the scene?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, because they were the investigating officers. Thereafter, the divisional commander informed me, the district commander, I'm sorry, my Lord, informed me about this and requested for the presence of the regional crime scene team to come help process the scene, which we subsequently did, and a report was produced, a copy of which I have deposited at the Secretariat, my Lord.
Okay. At this stage, then, we would gladly take in that document and would have it marked and tended.
Yes. Yes.
Please, who has the exhibit book?
Mark that as exhibit. Yesterday we got to
C.
This will be exhibit C. Mark it as exhibit C. Tendered in by the Deputy Regional Commander.
Commander, with respect, what is the document? What is the name, the title?
My Lord, it is a crime scene report.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, you can proceed with your evidence.
Thank you, my Lord. We then took statements from the witnesses Haruna Mohammed, one Sadia Fusaini, and issued another statement form to one Suraji Amidu, a co-tenant of now deceased Kaka. May I also add that Amidu is a teacher, and he subsequently submitted his written statement to the police on the 27th of June 2021. On the same day, police visited the victim at the Ejura hospital, but was told that the victim had been transferred to the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital because he needed specialized treatment. The investigator then proceeded to the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, and the next morning provided a police medical form to the doctors attending the victim. On the 28th of June, at around 1340 hours, police had information that the victim had passed on at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. Subsequently, my lord, the command had intelligence that there was a potential attack on the police station, municipal assembly building, and some vital installations and property within Ejura Township.
Commander, please, can I find out?
Yes, please.
If you state potential attack, what steps were you informed that the residents had taken that indicated a potential attack? What were they doing that suggested a potential attack?
My lord, I'm coming to that, if you give me the permission.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. We therefore instructed the divisional command in Mampo to provide one patrol team to beef up security whilst we made arrangement to send further reinforcement from Kumasi. Well, Lord, this was important because in the past, we've had issues in Ejura, and anytime it happened, the crux has been attempted attacks on the police. And in the last year, I can recall not less than 3 occasions. The first being during the compilation of names for the voter register. The second was during the campaign period preceding the last general elections. And the third being incidents that had happened after the elections, my lord. Subsequently, we dispatched a team stationed in the region from the FPU headquarters and another team from our SWAT unit to also go and assist with our strength in Ejura.
Please, can you help us with the complete meanings of the abbreviations, the FPU and the SWAT?
So the FPU is the Formed Police Unit, and the SWAT is the Special Weapon and Tactical Unit of the police service.
Thank you.
My lord, true to the intelligence we had gathered, around 1800 hours of same day, some irate youth in Ejura, on hearing the death of Kaka, went on rampage, destroying both government and private property in the town, including vandalizing the police station, attempting to vandalize the police station, and some other property. For example, the municipal revenue checkpoint, which was the office of the forestry department, was attacked. The revenue collectors were attacked, and the daily collections were stolen by the irate mob. Again, the mob also damaged 2 police vehicles, pictures of which you can find in the document I have given to the committee. They also destroyed 3 other vehicles that were parked at the police station, my lord. Again, the district fire officer and 1 colleague of his were attacked, and the vehicle they were riding was also damaged by the youth. My lord, we were informed later on that Nana Ejura had invited the youth and spoken to them to stop their rampage. He then advised them to exercise restraint and to report to the police and volunteer information if they had any, so that the police could investigate the matter thoroughly. My lord, following the attacks on the police station, we further brought reinforcement from the regional headquarters, including one team of Operation Calm Life personnel, which comprised both military and police officers, to help especially maintain law and order and to protect lives. And of course, to also protect vital installations in the town.
Commander, please, can I come in again?
Yes, my lord.
Were formal complaints lodged by persons and institutions who suffered these damages by the residents?
Yes, I'm sure.
Who were affected by
I'm sure
it?
they were done, but the district commander would speak to that, my lord.
Okay, thank you.
My lord, 2 suspects now remanded in police custody. Ibrahim Isaka, alias Anyas, and Fusaini Al-Hassan were chased by the youth whilst riding their motorbikes, and they were accused to have had a hand leading to the death of Kaka. These gentlemen, or these suspects, were subsequently arrested and detained by the police. Because of the nature and the tension in town, these suspects were sent to Mampong for safekeeping because we couldn't be sure what the irate youth could do. My lord, on the 28th of June 2021, post-mortem examination was performed on Kaka at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, and the body subsequently released to the family. And same was brought to Ejura at around 2100 hours on the day. My lord, the following day, which was the 29th of June, due to the incidents of the previous night, the family of the deceased requested that the police provided them protection whilst they went to bury the victim. This we obliged and provided them escorts with the route control vehicle that had been sent to town. After the burial and as we returned to town, the youth started pelting the vehicle with stones. And my lord, I am sure we have seen videos where the youths were chasing the route control vehicle, and our driver had to take evasive action to avoid any accident or incident. We retreated to the station in anticipation of an attack on the police station because the crowd was getting bigger and bigger. At this time, may I add that I had had a conversation with the CEO, and I had requested that if they could get another Calm Life team to augment the strength of security on the ground, it would be good for all of us.
Commander, please, can you tell us who is the CEO?
Lieutenant Colonel Pepra, my lord.
Of
the 4BN.
Okay. And please, for clarity, you had earlier stated that you had sent the FPU.
Yes, my lord.
And you had sent the SWAT.
Yes, my lord.
And then the first team of Operation Calm Life.
Yes, my lord.
And then there was a second team of Operation Calm Life.
The first team of Operation Calm Life had gone to Ejura on the night of the 28th.
And had returned, or they were still there?
I am sure they had returned by this time.
So I'm asking, we want to be sure by the 29th about how many police personnel had been detailed there.
In total, we had about 50 police officers that had been deployed from other areas other than Ejura.
Excluding Calm Life, which comprises police and military.
Yes, excluding Calm Life, which, my lord, may I also add that at this time, our main focus was to prevent destruction of especially property. And so most of these men had been placed to guard government installation, especially the police station and the municipal police headquarters, as well as having roadblocks on all the roads that were leading to Ejura, because we had had intelligence that other persons were coming out of town to also join in the routing, my lord. My lord, we then had information that the youth had blocked the road close to the mosque, the central mosque in Ejura. My lord, I don't know if you've been there, but there's a central mosque on the main road, which is about 1 kilometer from the main police station. And they had set tires on fire and were being routers, because vehicles that were coming in town or coming out of town were blocked. And so we deployed our men in a bid to maintain law and order, and to prevent these irate youth from vandalizing other property. When the police and backed by the military got to the scene, the youth started pelting them with stones and anything they could get their hands on. Some were seen to be holding machetes and other dangerous implements. At a point, we realized that the team had been surrounded on all sides. And my Lord, I am sure you've seen a video footage where the police route control vehicle was spraying water, but the youth were still throwing stones at them. At a point, sensing danger because we had been surrounded and because we thought that their next action would be to go to the police station to vandalize the police station, the officers on the ground decided that the police must retreat so that the military takes over, so that we could go back to the station and protect the station and the municipal building. My Lord, that is what the police did until the military came in, and of course, the rest we all know. Then on the 30th of June, Sadia Fuseini, who had earlier given us a statement, came back to the police station accompanied by the husband, Fuseini Muhammad, and one Muniratu Al-Hassan. And she gave a further statement that on the night of the 26th, she saw Idi Muhammad, a brother of Kaka, dragging the victim, now deceased, towards the bathroom in their house, because they were all tenants in the house, or they are co-tenants. And that Muniratu Al-Hassan had also seen this happening. And that they both saw Idi Muhammad running from the scene. My Lord, after this statement, the police arrested Idi Muhammad and took caution statements from him. Subsequently, as we had done previously, the suspect was sent to Mampong, and later all three were brought to the regional police headquarters here in Kumasi. On Friday, the 2nd of July, my Lord, the three suspects were arraigned before court, and they have been remanded into police custody to reappear on the 13th of July 2021. My Lord, these are the policing actions that were taken. Of course, may I also add that 2 criminal investigations are underway, and we have brought the dockets, uncompleted though, for the inspection of your committee if you so desire, my lord.
Well, you have a copy of the case docket, or it is the original case docket?
My lord, these are the originals of the case dockets.
Can we have photocopies?
My lord, if you so wish.
We have a photocopy machine. What is? Yes. How many dockets? 2.
Yes, my lord.
2. Mark the first one as Exhibit D, and the second one Exhibit E. So the first in time should be Exhibit D, the second one Exhibit E.
Let's go back. No, we'll do, don't worry. Yes, 29th, second. What? No.
Just look at the date. The first in time becomes Exhibit D. The next one becomes Exhibit E.
This was on the 14th. This is a different. My lord, I am sorry. I think the one of the dockets is here.
Okay.
The other, because the matter is in court, the docket we couldn't bring to the committee.
Very well.
However, I think that we have all seen on social media a copy of a warning letter that was issued to the deceased.
I have not seen it.
Well,
We,
my lord,
the committee, we cannot rely on whatever we see outside this room.
thank you very much, my
Yes.
lord. My lord, it has come to the attention of police that a document, which is a warning letter from the police is in circulation on social media, and a lot of commentary have gone on whether the propriety of policing action in respect of this document. And there's a docket that was prepared on that incident, and I have that here.
Very well. Please, can you take it and mark that since this one is going to be Exhibit D, mark this one as Exhibit E. Does it contain the letter you are talking about?
Yes, my lord.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
my lord.
you.
Commander, please, can you give some little information about
Yes,
it?
my lord.
What incident was it about?
My lord, it was an incident that happened between the deceased and police in Ejura. Whilst police were on their normal duties, he had gone to film them, and when they protested, there was some altercation, so he was arrested, brought to the station, and subsequently the district commander had issued him with a warning letter not to repeat what he had done. What is being given out there is that the police had given him a warning because he was involved in activities of exposing persons or people who were doing wrong in his own mind, my lord.
Thank you very much. Please, Commander, is that all the information you have?
Yes, for now, my lord. And if there are any questions to be answered,
Please, do you have any evidence?
okay. Yeah. Yes, please.
Do you have any evidence, whether audio or video, to submit? Not necessarily. I'm just asking if you have anything.
Yes, my lord. I think that we do have a pen drive that contains some pictures, but basically they are the same pictures that are on social media, because we on our own did not take any pictures except those in the crime scene report, my lord.
Okay. Then if it wasn't the police service that took those pictures, then they may not be that relevant, would they? Did you obtain them as hearsay? You got them from some other persons. They were not police generated pictures.
Yes, of course, they are not police generated pictures apart from the crime scene photographs that we have. Albeit that we know that some persons have appeared before this committee and they have presented same videos to the committee.
Okay. These pictures that you are talking about, will they be relevant to the issues before us?
My lord,
The one on the pen drive that you're talking about.
my lord, this is a difficult one for me because I don't make the determinations here. So if my lord will help us.
Very well.
Yes, my lord.
For what it is worth, please accept the pen drive. Let's give it to the IT officer, let him project for us to see. Then we will determine whether to admit it in evidence.
Yes, my lord. Thank you very much. My lord, if I may also add that after the 29 incident, when the attention of the police were drawn to the fact that there have been casualties in the at Ejura, and that persons had been sent to the hospital. We went to the hospital, and the medical officer gave us some. He gave us a report, medical report on the persons, all the persons that were sent to him. In fact, we had wanted to know the whereabouts of the persons who had died during the shooting, but apparently the youth had threatened to burn the hospital down, so the doctor informed us that he was forced to give the bodies to the youth in order that the facility will not be vandalized and burned down. We have reports, medical reports of same in the documents that we have presented to the committee, my lord.
Thank you.
Commander, sorry, can I ask you a last question?
Yes, my lord.
For further explanation. At the last stage, when the police decided to go back and protect their facilities, at the time the military took over, were policemen still at the scene with the military?
Yes, some policemen were there, but we withdrew most of them because we weren't sure the next action of the mob.
I mean, at the time of the shooting, were policemen on the ground with the military? Were they there? Were they present?
Yes, some of them were around. because we had gone in a group and we wanted to withdraw the route control vehicle. And so, yes, some of the men who were with the, for example, who were with the Calm Life team would certainly have been at the scene.
So that means we have policemen who are witnesses to the incident on the 29th.
Well, possible, yes.
Thank you.
My Lord, these are part of the crime scene pictures. This was one of the police vehicles that were vandalized. I think the windshield of that vehicle was broken. My Lord, this is a picture of the Ejura police station. And here we can see all the bulbs at the station had been broken by the mob. Bulb, okay. My Lord, this was the route control vehicle, and it also suffered some damage as a result of the action of the youth. For example, the side mirror was broken and it had dents as a result of the stoning. That is the side mirror that was broken. My Lord, this was one of the vehicles that was parked, a private vehicle that was parked at the station. Lord, may I also add that, but for the fact that the route control vehicle is armor plated, I am sure the damage would have been extensive.
Okay. I think we've seen some. Yes, let me begin with our questions. The committee members who want to ask some few questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you know that in this digital age, photographs can be taken with the date and location of the place where the photograph is being taken. You know that?
Yes, my Lord. It is essential to do that.
And these photographs that you have shown us, we do not find any dates these photographs were taken.
My Lord, as I indicated, these are crime scene pictures of the event. And so we assume that because they were crime scene pictures of that event, maybe, but on hindsight, I think I agree with you. That should have been done, my Lord.
Because I believe the FPU water cannon,
yes, my Lord,
it's not a brand new one when at the time they were going to Ejura.
It was not, and it's still not, my Lord.
Yes, it has been used in other areas, if not Ejura.
Yes.
So, how certain are you that the dent on this water cannon vehicle were done at Ejura?
Thank you, my Lord. My Lord, when this vehicle was brought here, when I came here, there was one vehicle here, a white one, which developed a fault and was sent back. This was brought in, and this was newly painted. And since then, we've not had any serious event that had necessitated anybody throwing any objects at the vehicle.
You know, as a fact that even on the road, a vehicle which is ahead of another vehicle just picks, the tires picks stone and it hits your windscreen, you get cracks. You know it can happen.
My Lord, it is possible, but looking at these pictures, I am sure, I am convinced that it is not one that the vehicle might have had on the road, my Lord.
Yes,
of course, possible.
We are concerned because if you know it is the youth, the mob, that attacked these vehicles, it should have at least dawned on the photographer to put the date the photographs were being taken. For example, these private vehicles that were at the police station,
yes, my Lord.
Who knows that they had those dents before they were seized and placed at the police station? How do we determine whether
my
those
Lord,
dents were on the vehicles before they were seized and parked at the police station, or it was the youth who went to the police station who dented it? How do we determine that?
my Lord, I can agree with you more. But as I said, on hindsight, I think that that was the most prudent thing we should have done.
Very well. Then let me find out. On the 29th,
Yes, my Lord.
that the last incident happened. No, the first one happened
On the,
during the barrier.
yes.
On the 29th,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
the Operation Come Life people moved in and
Yes.
the shooting took place. Did your men go to the scene with tear gas to disperse the rioters?
No, my Lord, we didn't. Because we didn't have any at the time.
Are you saying the district, the divisional, and the regional command do not have tear gas?
My Lord, what I'm saying is that at the time of the incident, we didn't have them present. Not that we didn't have them at all. My Lord, and if I may add, I think the essence of our duty in Ejura was not, was basically to ensure that there was peace And we didn't anticipate that it would degenerate into shooting.
Yes.
Our objective was first to protect life and property, and of course, to maintain law and order. We didn't envisage that it would, because in the past there had been issues, we've dealt with it, and in those instances, the same teams or similar teams had gone on the ground and it hadn't degenerated into shooting. And so we didn't anticipate that, my lord.
Yes, you told the committee in your evidence that on the 28th,
Yes, my lord.
intelligence report showed that the youth were going on rampage, and you had reports that they will burn or damage certain state properties. And
Yes, my lord.
yes, that was on the 28th.
Yes, my lord.
And on the 29th, the youth started their
Activity.
unruly
Yes.
activity.
Yes, my lord.
Yes. Before calling in the Operation Calm Life, my question is, you've had intelligent reports. On the 28th, certain incidents have happened. So on the 29th, don't you agree with me that everything that the police ought to have done to disperse the youth, rather than calling in the military, would have been more helpful?
My lord, I couldn't agree with you more. But the circumstances under which we're working, we must also understand that it was a fluid situation, it was spontaneous, and there was no time for us to probably go back and do this because it was something that was spontaneous. You couldn't, in the past, we've had incidents, but they hadn't, because any time they had seen the military, normally they would calm down, and peace, some level of peace would have been restored. But this time, I think that we miscalculated, and we take responsibility for that, my lord.
Yes, because if you've received the intelligent report, 28, something has happened. If you are preparing for the intelligence situation that you received, and there was the need for men to move in on the 29th, I am of the view that you should have considered the best way to control the crowd.
Yes, my lord.
You have tear gas, you have this police rioting, what do you call it? The shield and all this. From what we saw from the videos, we did not find anything of that nature.
Yes, my lord, nothing like that
Yes.
happened.
So you agree with me that you assumed that with the presence of the military, the youth will run away.
Yes, my lord, that is our assumption, my lord.
And your assumption was wrong.
Exactly, my lord.
Let me find out from you. In your briefings, did you get information that any member of the youth was wielding a gun, a pump action gun, or a pistol, or apart from machete, gloves, and such tools and what have you?
Yes, my lord. And as we speak, there are 2 persons in custody who are arrested with weapons.
In connection with the riot,
Yes, my lord.
did any of your members suffer injury by reason of gunshots?
No, my lord, but they suffered other wounds. For example, my district commander now cannot wear a pair of boots because he was injured in the process, my lord.
That injury, was it as a result of a gunshot?
No, my lord, I said no gunshot wounds, but
Very well.
yes, my lord.
Have you heard whether any of the military personnel on the ground that day suffered any gunshot wound?
No, my lord.
Would I be correct then to say that no gun was fired from the ground?
My lord, I won't agree with you because, as I've just indicated, there are persons in our custody who were arrested with weapons.
Have you checked whether those weapons have been fired?
My lord, we need to do that. But what I'm saying is that the assumption is that if there's a route and you have a weapon, of course, your intention was to use it.
Very well. You know, the reason why I'm asking you this
Yes,
is
my
that
lord.
the military were here.
Yes, my lord.
The evidence was that the crowd, some element were firing at the personnel on the ground.
Yes, my lord, and that is true, my lord.
But in your evidence, you never said it.
Didn't I?
In your testimony, you never said somebody fired at the men on the ground. You said they were wielding
My lord,
machete and stones, and you never said so.
look at it, what I gave you. My lord, then it was an oversight because from the notes I had given your secretariat, it was indicated that you can show it to me.
My understanding of what you narrated to us was that you assumed, when I say you, not you personally,
Yes,
but
my
the
lord.
police, assumed that, look, let us bring in the military. Once they see the military, the Ghana man is afraid of the military. So once the youth see the presence of the military, they will automatically disperse.
My lord,
But not because guns were being fired and the military will definitely retaliate.
my lord, what you say is true because that was our assumption, but on the ground, it did happen. And of course, bringing the military in was also in tune with our SOPs, where we had to use gradual differentiated force. And this time, the gradual differentiated force that was used was based on the availability of equipment on site. And on site, we didn't have the equipment my lord alludes to. For example, the shields and the tear gas, but we had used what was available. For example, we had used the water cannon, and my lord indicated that he had seen a video. 2, they had given verbal warnings to the persons on the ground. 3, they had used what do you call it?
Warning shot.
Warning shots. And so, my lord, you realize that for what we had on ground, we did the best under the circumstance, my lord.
Thank you. But you see, the fact is that the incident did not start on the 29th. You had intelligence report. You sent men there. The 28th, something happened. So that should have put you on the alert. That looking at what happened on the 28th, we should prepare adequately for any event on the 29th. For which tear gas, rioting equipment should have been sent to Ejura. But personally, I think because of the assumption that the presence of the military will send the people away, you decided to just ignore all other options. And we all know that when the military are coming, Ghana, they don't come with plastic bullets, live bullets.
My Lord, I think I've already admitted to that it was a mistaken assumption that we took, and unfortunately, it didn't work the way we had anticipated.
Thank you very much, Commander.
Thank you, Prof.
I will take off from where the chairman left off.
Yes, Prof.
What is your relationship with Calm Life hierarchy?
Thank you, my Lord. We've had a fruitful cooperation with the military in this regard. And in the last 4 years or so, in all the stations I've worked with, we've had cooperations with the military in this regard. In fact, as we speak now, there's an incident in Tonso at the moment where we now have a similar team patrolling. And so we've had a fruitful relation with the police, with the military, as far as the Operation Calm Life is concerned, my Lord.
I'm asking this because, as my Lord said, you were overwhelmed. And therefore, the military was called in. And your assumption is that once the military comes, we'll play a subordinate role. Was that the case?
That we play
a subordinate role?
No, my Lord, because if you've seen the pictures, we led with the route control vehicle. The military was behind. It was when we thought that we had our wits' end that we allowed them to take over. Because the erroneous assumption was that when they saw that the military was there, we were going to get some closure, but it didn't happen, my Lord.
That is where my concern is, actually, my Lord. The point is this, that crisis management, where you have interagency cooperation, is such that you have your strategy, you have your standard operating procedure, the military has their own different one, but you coordinate them in such a way that you have a better result. Are you sure we had a better coordination this time?
I think the coordination was good, albeit that the execution wasn't perfect because our assumption for the operation was probably teetered on the wrong assumptions, my Lord.
In your narration, I didn't get the sense of who called in the military and at what time.
My Lord, what had happened was that on the night of the 28th, I had spoken to the CO, and so the patrol team came in but withdrew. But on the 29th, my information is that the military was called in at the instance of the regional minister. Of course, I would have done same if the conditions, I had the fact that the regional minister had done it, I didn't have to do it, but I would have done the same if given the same conditions, my Lord.
Commissioner, you know very well that in such situations, even if it is 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, you needed to brief the military. And your briefing would include all the strategies you have adopted and they failed. All your intel report before they take over. And they will also brief you as to what strategies they are going to adopt in arriving at the end game. Did that happen?
My Lord, before we go on any operation, at least we talk to each other. But as I said, I think that we failed because the assumptions we had taken were not appropriate in this case, my Lord.
So you admit that the standard operating procedure was not followed?
The standard operating procedures were followed, and to the letter.
Okay. Commissioner, this is not the first time that you are having this on your hand, even within your own region, even within Ejura.
Yes, my Lord.
You've given us instances of such situations. But we are operating within the same, how do I call it, lines. Are you sure we are winning the war? And will it not happen again? And will this not happen again? Because the same thing happens, we use the same procedures, we get the same results, commissions of inquiry. I want you to advise us because we need to write a good report.
Thank you, my Lord. I think that if we talk about the procedures, yes, our service instructions is here and it details how we need to deal with routers mob. And I think that per this document, we did the best that we could and consistent with it. However, I think that going forward, particularly in Ejura, we may have to do something else. When I say something else, probably we may need a bigger force closer home, because on a number of occasions we've had this. And my Lord, may I add that moving persons or moving officers here to Ejura takes a minimum of 2 hours or an hour and a half. And sometimes time becomes our biggest enemy fighting these instances in Ejura. So going forward, I think what needs to be done is that we need to probably have something closer home. Maybe an FPU contingent stationed in Ejura, or probably a military detachment stationed close by.
Are you suggesting that we should more be using, are you suggesting a garrison kind of thing in the Ejura area? Are you suggesting we should be using more military than civilian police and expanding the police force in such police service in such a way that you have more police?
Yes, my Lord, I know that the Ejura Traditional Council is in the process of building a divisional command in Ejura. And so that, for example, would be a very good idea so that we can have more police officers, for example, on the ground. And that is what I meant by getting a bigger force closer home, my Lord.
Commissioner, will you accept the fact that you were ill-equipped for the theater operation?
Yes and no, my Lord.
Which
yes,
way?
Because we had all that it took to be there, men. No, because maybe the equipment needed were not available. And so, yes, I concede to that, my Lord.
And I believe that you are aware that it's not only a Ejura case, but everywhere the police have been sent, you have been ill-equipped.
Well, that is the comment that is the comment of my knowledge professor, and he taught me in school. So
this is not to indict you. We're looking for a situation where the country benefits from what we ask government to do. And I believe that, like my Lord was saying, if you had gone there with tear gas, you would have not been overwhelmed if your water cannon was not only 1 but 2 or 3. You know, you could have quelled the insurrection over there before calling them. Because as for the military, as soon as we call them in, their SOP is completely different. Completely different. And that is why I asked that question. My final question to you.
My Lord, I think I agree perfectly with what you are saying. And if you look at the Constitution, for example, 203 says that the police service shall be equipped and maintained to perform its traditional role of maintaining law and order. Of course, we are not the persons who determine, of course, we know what we want, we know what we need, but of course, we don't determine what we are given. And so, of course, we will need as many and as much as we can get, if possible. I mean, and of course, even the richest nations are still asking for more for their police. So why not us? Yes, I agree with you. If we had more...
When you had the opportunity, you have not said anything. You have not told the commission to do this.
My Lord, you just asked me and I'm telling you that.
My final question.
Prof, I know you know more than I do.
My final question, since in our jurisdiction we have embraced this Operation Calm Life, that's military police kind of collaboration, what kind of training goes on? Because your SOPs are completely different.
Yes, my Lord.
Mostly at variance.
Yes, my Lord.
What kind of training goes on in between the two of you as you have Operation Calm Life?
My Lord, thank you very much. I think in the last year or so, we've had about 150 of our men who have trained together with the military. And these are the core group that are used for the Operation Calm Life. It is our operational unit and the military that go together on these Operation Calm Life patrols. So what we have done is that we have integrated them, we trained them together, and we've had a couple of trainings in the last year or so. Because what we have realized is that sometimes when they go on patrol, what they both seek for are different. And so we have tried to train them together in order that they would appreciate each other's challenges and inconsistencies. For example, whilst we are looking at the legal side of things, they are looking at probably using a bit more macho processes. So we have tried to train them together. Yes, it is not perfect, but at least we are getting there, my Lord.
Yes, Commander, you see, anytime we have such interactions, the first reaction is why they want to expose us to public ridicule or something. When we wanted to know why you did not maybe equip them with tear gas, and I was expecting that you would have said what you said in response to Prof's question, that look, in terms of equipment and logistics, we don't have much. Because we are going to make recommendations, but if you don't say it, we have our own ideas in our mind, but until your outfit, you tell us that, look, Ejura, for example, because we all know Ejura is a hotspot, elections and all these things, we need to expand, like you said, to expand the police presence in Ejura, we need more material logistics in Ejura, if not Ejura Mampong, so that at least in case there is any emergency, it should not be a case of Kumasi sending personnel or Kumasi sending logistics, but quickly Mampong to Ejura is shorter.
Yes, my Lord.
But when we ask, you institutions always pretend as if we are asking too much.
My Lord, Prof will tell you that I'm not that kind of police officer. I'll say it as it is. But in this case, I was saying that yes, we may have the equipment, but they weren't deployed. And that is something that we take responsibility for, my Lord.
Okay, thank you. Next time, I think we all know that the police are not adequately resourced when it comes to such matters. We know.
My Lord, I didn't say that.
I'm not saying you, but if you say it, you've not done anything
but my Lord, thank you for the prompting.
Yes, you see, the fact is that if Ejura police, the district, it is not even a police post.
It's
a whole district.
Yes, my Lord.
Municipal,
yes,
such,
my Lord,
does not have tear gas. You understand? At the station, unless it is transported from maybe the region or the division. That tells us as a nation, we are failing. Because these are things they will be using in terms of rioting, in terms of confronting the people when it comes to such matters. And every district must have adequate resources of that nature. So we are not putting the blame on you for not having it. It's a problem
Thank you, my Lord.
as a nation we all face. Yes, my sister here will also ask you.
Yes, my Lord.
Commander, thank you. So I suppose I'll take off from where the chair stopped.
Yes, my Lord.
My question would be, in your own estimation, do you feel as if body cams or some other equipment that could capture what was going on would have probably helped in this situation?
Of course, it would have. And I'm sure elsewhere, that was the reason why body cams were introduced. And in fact, now if you look at the George Floyd bill that is being championed in the US, one of the main things is about body cams. And so, yes, of course.
Okay, thank you. Well, so 3 quick questions, some just for clarity. I think that the death of the young man on the 28th,
26th.
On the 26th,
Yes,
Kaka, appears to be the catalyst to the things that happened in the subsequent days. Is this what we're hearing?
On the face of it, yes.
Okay.
But I think that there were more things in the background than what we see. My Lord, I'm saying this because, for example, when this incident happened, you realize that there were a number of political people who jumped in and hijacked the incident for their own parochial interest. And so it tells me that there was a political undertone in this whole instance. For example, we are told that Kaka was an MPP person, but we heard previously that some other parties were claiming he's their member, and subsequently all the NPP shirts that were in town in Ejura were vandalized. And I'm sure if the NPP person had died, you wouldn't destroy your own property. So I think that on the surface, yes, it is Kaka, but underneath, they may have been, and of course, again, the journalists also didn't help with their reportage because a lot of tension was created when for me there was none. I am sure if they had come to us to seek information rather than go on air and say the things they wanted to say, it would have at least brought the tensions down a bit, but we didn't.
Is there a PRO, a police PRO at Ejura or Mampong?
We do not have, but we have one in the region. Yeah. And on the 26th, on the night of the 27th, 28th, and I think on the 29th, we issued a number of press releases, and I didn't see most of the media carrying that because they were carrying their own stories that sold for them, rather than the official police communication.
Can we have those press releases
yes,
or copies?
Yes,
of
my Lord. We would make those available to you, my Lord.
Okay. So the question I have, perhaps my final question is, Sabia Husseini, is that the name that you mentioned? There was a woman and her husband.
Yes.
And a third person who Sabia Husseini, I think was the name.
Yes, Sabia Husseini, my Lord.
Who came to the station to, first they gave an initial statement. Was that different from the second statement that they gave?
Yes, my Lord. That's why we said they gave a further statement. The further statement meant that the details were different from what they had given us. In fact, initially she said she didn't see anyone, she didn't suspect anyone, but subsequently she came back to say that somebody had done this, and she saw and I have seen some videos circulating on social media that she and her husband had made, making specific allegations. And I think that if the committee would take my advice, I would be happy if they are invited to explain why they didn't say that initially.
I was actually going to ask you.
Thank you, madam.
Where are those three? Because in other jurisdictions, they would then become persons of interest.
Yes, they are persons of interest.
And they would probably be helping the police now with investigation.
Yes, they are, my lord.
I see. Right. So, final question. You've not been able to establish who Kaka is, have you?
If you could come again.
When you say you have conflicting information as to the person of Kaka, who was he in life? Was he part of a political party, part of an activist group, part of what? Who is he?
My lord, I think Kaka was a social activist who posted local pertinent issues on his platform. In fact, members of the New Patriotic Party have indicated that he was their member. In fact, I was in Ejura with both the Vice President and the Honorable Minister of Interior, and the regional minister had indicated that he was a member of their party. I've also heard MPP persons, the regional secretary of the MPP say that he is a member of his party. In fact, his family also indicate that he was an MPP person. However, again, I have read that the MP for the area, who is an NDC MP, has come out to say that he's not a member of their party, and he's also not a member of the Fix the Country group.
Very well. Thank you.
Thank you, my lord.
Yes, Commander, before we discharge you, yes, as for our media friends, when you talk, they think you are bashing them, but they have the right to bash everybody in Ghana except themselves.
Yes, I have.
The fact is that we all know that the media, it's the agenda that they set that they want all Ghanaians to follow. So when an incident happens, they sit there, bring out issues, ask people to call in and express their mind, and that becomes the topic for Ghanaians to discuss. So don't be worried that they did not contact your outfit to ascertain who Kaka is or what he was and what he will be in heaven. Yes, my friends in the media, they know that I'm talking about the truth, because we all heard. Yesterday, we saw the video clip. I had occasion to ask the media man who came to testify, yes, whether they were so certain that Kaka was a member of the Fix the Country campaign group. The answer he gave us, I understood it to mean that it is not certain. Yes, he can be a social media person, but not every social media person is a member of Fix the Country campaign group. Every Ghanaian has the right to criticize what he feels like criticizing, but that do not place you into a specific grouping. Yes.
Milord, thank you very much. But it is frightening when wrong perceptions are sent out there and persons pick on those. And if you are not careful, from where I sit, we might be creating a monster that would devour all of us one of these days. So it is, in my opinion, time for the media to be a bit more circumspect and observe the tenets of their profession, because invariably you see them doing the wrong things, and then they will just apologize and continue doing the same over
Commander,
and over
let me remind you, don't continue, because they will
Yes, my Lord,
classify
I
you
will not.
as attacking media freedom. Yes, media friends, I know. You know, anytime you put them on the spotlight, it's an attack on media freedom. But who watches the watchman? It is the people who watch the watchman. So
But-
that...
Well, Lord, I think one of the things that is also becoming a bit, let me choose my words properly, a bit of a fright, is the proliferation of so-called security experts. They also inflame tensions when some of these things happen. And for me, some of them know next to nothing about security, but they come out there and pontificate as if they have all the knowledge in security matters. And it's frightening. It is extremely frightening, my Lord.
Commissioner, I am with you. You know, of late, the media, they are my friends, and I've been bashing them quietly. At times they call me and I refuse to talk because they have spoken to somebody they have labeled as security expert. Even me, I've always warned them not to call me a security expert. I'm an analyst. If you get the degrees...
Prof, the minister said you are a security expert.
So I'm with you. Everybody sees on radio a security expert, and the things they spew out has nothing to do with expertise in security.
Yes.
So I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Thank you very much,
Our media
Madam.
friends, you know, yesterday I said something and you clapped. Whilst you're clapping for me, watch yourselves too. Like he is saying yesterday.